start recording. And we'll count it down in a second. Sorry, baited you.
That's all right. I wasn't tabbed in. That gave time to get back in.
Okay. I need Twitch chat.
He needs your love.
There we go. All right. In 3, 2, 1, go. And we'll welcome you back for the final time this evening to Summoner's Rift. Spawning on the bottom side of the map. They won game number 1, but lost game number 2. It is randomed. In the top lane, it's Budinsko playing Swain. In the jungle, Pooh will be on Jarvan. In the mid lane, Josh Quest on Lux. And in the bottom lane, Sol and Kyo on Kaisa and Karma.
And the winners of game 2, Spartans, are going to be on the red side once again. Ducky's minions this time on the Cho'Gath. Noctron on the Amumu. We've got Hannibal there on the the Orianna, the other champion. And we've got Blue Eyes White Dragon back on the Jinx, this time with Olulu to buff him up for Orbital.
Yeah, we had that small preview earlier on in the stream, but now we can finally talk about these team compositions just a little bit more. Pooh has the Jarvan again that we saw in game number 1. He's got a Dark Harvest.
Yep, I was going to mention that last time he ran Electrocute. This time, I don't know if that was just a whoops or if that was intentional. If they're just like, we're playing late, boys. I don't know.
Yeah, it does feel like I don't want to say for a change this series, but it kind of is. Their team scales a little bit better into late game than it did in game number 1 and 2. The Kaisa has that late game potential, plus the Lux is a little bit stronger, I think, than the Annie.
I actually was in between those matches. I was looking at Josh Quest just because he's the one I'm probably most unfamiliar with on their team, and he was only actually Mastery 3 on the Annie.
Interesting.
But I feel like every time I've ever seen him, it's been Annie. So that's why I was like, huh, because I think we might have seen him. I could be incorrect, but I feel like I saw him somewhere last season.
We just don't have the information available, I guess.
Yep, pretty much, because I'm guessing Zoe's been banned every game, because he actually has 160,000 on Zoe.
That's a lot of Zoe play. I guess it's... I still feel like some champions that were released like 2 and 3 years ago were just released yesterday, though, so I probably shouldn't be the one talking.
Yeah.
Also interesting, Blue Eyes White Dragon has opted for the press the attack this game rather than lethal tempo.
I don't really have anything to comment on that. I don't necessarily know what the decision making is. Maybe. Go ahead.
I would think that you would want press the attack more against tankier teams. Pooh and Noctron are both near mid. Pooh is very healthy, and Noctron was not, so I don't think that was a fight that they wanted. But anyway, I think you would want press the attack against tankier teams and lethal tempo against squishier. I don't know if that's accurate. Top lane and mid lane main discussing 80 carries in 2018.
Yeah. I mean, former 80 carry main prior to rune changes, so...
I mean, both of us, yeah.
Same, yeah, both of us. The only thought I could think of is there's enough crowd control.
Blue Eyes White Dragon's taken pretty low here. The tether from Karma is going to connect the Void missiles. I can't think of the names off the top of my head. Sol's going to walk around the Flame Chompers as well as Noctron's here with the Bandage Toss. Everybody's going to get out alive for the time being. A lot of summoner spells being exchanged. It looks like very slightly in favor. Actually, not very slightly. It's 2 summoner spells in favor of randomed, though.
You were almost at it. Is it Cathian Rain?
A Cathian Rain. I was about to say a Cathian Surprise, but I know that that's completely incorrect because that's Kog'Maw's passive. And then her W's Void Seekers, so I think I went for that. Not really sure. A Cathian Rain. A Cathian Missile Barrage.
Going back to the press the attack discussion, the only thing I could think of is the side of Spartans is like a decent amount of tank and enough hard CC that you can, once you get those 3 procs on a target, those tanks will actually be able to output a decent amount of damage onto whatever target they have locked up for the 8-10 seconds of crowd control that they really have on the team.
Yeah, that's true. Blue Eyes White Dragon actually picks up the cull off of the forced back, I guess. It's about a 10 CS, not about a 10 CS, it is a 10 CS lead right now for Soul. He's able to grab the pickaxe for himself compared to the cull. You gotta be feeling pretty confident in your Kaisa right about now.
Yeah, where the wave is sitting though, Blue Eyes is actually going to catch up and be relatively close, with that wave sitting just outside of tower range.
We haven't, I know your baby is the mid lane. We haven't talked at all about this matchup. Do you like Anivia versus, or Anivia? Oh my god, I did it too. The Orianna versus Lux?
I like playing the Orianna into, I don't want to be biased against Lux players, but she provides a decent pick, but doesn't have the wave clear to match others. Orianna not necessarily the highest of wave clear champs either, but you pick Orianna for the team synergy.
Yeah, they have the Amumu and Orianna ults to combo in together. Will be interesting to see how well they're able to find the team fights later on in the game.
The Orianna taking Ghost is the decision that I don't want to say it puzzles me. It's a decision. Like you could look to take Ignite and be aggressive in lane. You could take a heal and just be safer, or Barrier. I guess Barrier might be the better option than heal now. Every time you accidentally face tank a Q, you can at least pop Barrier and be like, okay, Flex ult down.
Kyo and Soul still trying to trade back. Not able to get that passive completely off for Soul, but Blue Eyes White Dragon loses about half of his health in the trade. Feels like Soul and Kyo have a little bit better lane pressure, but now the CS actually slightly in favor of the Yu-Gi-Oh card. This is not a great matchup for Swain, by the way.
That's what I was thinking. I remember you talking about this one.
Swain is good against some tanks and bad against others. Cho'Gath is one of the ones that he struggles a little bit more against. And you can kind of see why. Cho'Gath just kind of sustains through him, and then he'll have that feast right there. First blood for Ducky's minions.
Do you think part of it is, well, no, I guess you're still talking tank to tank. I don't know. The Spectre's Cowl versus a Catalyst, it's raw health and mana with, I guess, a little bit of sustain in the passive versus Magic Resist and health regen.
Yeah, I don't know, I can't really articulate why, but Swain completely destroys Maokai, but loses super hard to Cho'Gath. And even though Maokai and Cho'Gath are like relatively interchangeable champions, I think it's just the true health execute that really gives Swain trouble. Plus, they both have about the same amount of sustain. But yeah, those are harder matchups. Pooh's gonna go aggressive, lands the Jarvan Jacuzzi. Blue Eyes White Dragon doesn't have flash available because of the trades earlier. Noctron's here, uses the Curse of the Sad Mummy, only has an orbital left to help him out. Now Josh Quest is available as well. Light Binding lands, double kill for Soul, and they're gonna get the flash off the Flag and Drag. Orbital now taken super low, and the final spark not gonna pick it up because Pooh killed him with red buff.
Feels bad to be Josh Quest. Have a decent run, beat the Orianna down, and only get one assist for each time. At least your Lux or your ultimate's not on the worst cooldown.
Yep. If only you got the kill, it'd be on half the cooldown.
Also true.
Now the big game that we're gonna play, what elemental Lux transformation are we gonna see out of Josh Quest?
Give me a moment to fast forward and I'll find out.
No.
I don't want to get off sync.
You'll never, you'll never catch back up again. It'll be a nightmare.
I don't know. I'm biased and I might have a different opinion than most people. I really like the lightning transformation, even though I also forget which ones are the correct ones to get to that transformation. So every time I try to go for it, I end up dark, which is probably my second favorite because I like the edgelords apparently.
I can never remember what her transformations are the couple of times that I play her. Yeah, I think lightning and lava are my favorite. But I couldn't tell you how to get to either of them, so I just kind of wind up with whatever I get. Josh Quest locks up Blue Eyes White Dragon. Soul comes in, uses the flash. Actually, doesn't have the Void Assault available. Light Binding connects though. Second Light Binding, and Josh Quest will pick up the kill.
First time Blue Eyes was able to tank the full combo, including ult from Lux, because actually the bone play and going in the resolve tree secondary. I noticed that last game I didn't mention it, but opting to go for the super defensive rune page.
Pooh is here. That's the only reason that Budinsko's getting aggressive. Rupture is going to land from Ducky's minions. He's trying to get back enough damage, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter. The flash forward means that Pooh can go ahead and commit the Jarvan Jacuzzi, and Budinsko will pick up the kill with the Bird Bomb. The roams now from Josh Quest are hurting him just a little bit, though, as Hannibal has a 2-level advantage in mid lane. But this is setting up to be kind of an interesting split scenario. Although I'm not going to get to talk about it though, as Orbital walks in. I'm not sure about the Lulu walking in there. This is not a favorable trade for Spartans at all. Soul goes ahead and commits the ultimate just to try to chunk everybody out. Actually, Ducky's minions is here. Maybe that's what they were buying time for. Slow comes down, and he's going to feast on Kyo as the Super Mega Death Rocket sails sadly aside. That's 2 kills now for Ducky's minions on the Cho'Gath, and he'll be a big threat come later on in the game.
So,
anyway.
So as a resident Dogchamp player, would you actually devote the feast to that when that kill's relatively secured already? It just would take a little bit longer when you know that there's an Infernal Drake as an available objective.
Yeah, with the dragon available, I probably wouldn't. In any other situation, yeah, absolutely. I just want the stacks. I don't care how I get them. But yeah, with the dragon available, I'd probably take those stacks instead. Final Spark came through. Wasn't quite enough. Is able to be secured by Noctron. Anyway, the split map that I was talking about. Your top and mid laner are going to be just a little bit stronger for Spartans, and you need to try to utilize them to get your bottom lane back into the game. Meanwhile, for random, it's your jungle and your bottom lane that are ahead, and it creates this interesting map play. We'll have to see if Spartans can leverage that advantage to pop open the top and mid turrets, or if the fact that more people, I guess, are fed on random is what matters. That's 5 stacks now on Duckies, by the way. Pooh is here. He's going to land the Cataclysm. This is one decision that you can make, is just to continue to go on and get more snowball going. Soul picks up one as Pooh takes the other, and both of them are stacking up pretty nicely as they come on. Soul should have the completed Rage Blade, I believe. Yeah, and that's going to be a scary Kaisa. Light Binding connects over the wall from Josh Quest. Doesn't actually connect on the final spark. You got to use the combo just a little bit faster to connect. And the Shockwave from Hannibal's going to go ahead and pull him back in. Light Binding just to buy some time, trying to trade back the damage, but Hannibal will pick it up with the Command Dissonance. Pooh is here, though. He has the Dark Harvest proc. There's the auto into the red buff slow. Hannibal's taken super low. The flash forward from Pooh. I don't know that was super necessary. Curse of the Sad Mummy coming through, plus the Super Mega Death Rocket picks up one. Pooh does live in mid lane just barely as he's forced to flash back out of tower range. Flash away from the Mantra Q from Noctron means the Kyo's going to be locked up by the Bandage Toss. Trying to trade some damage back, does lock him up with the Tether. Teleport coming in from Budinsko. They're not aware of it. Noctron in a little bit of trouble. Flash forward on the Demonic Ascension from Budinsko as he pulls in Lulu. 1 kill immediately going over. 2 kills to Budinsko. And Jinx may be able to get out safely. Budinsko still in pursuit. Has the claw available. Not going to connect on it, though.
I guess each top laner's taking turns, just kind of feasting on someone from bottom lane. Quite literally for Cho'Gath. Even with like picking up a couple kills down there, that's probably not enough for swaying the scrap with the Cho'Gath, right?
No, not at all. The Cho'Gath should have a pretty big advantage in a side lane throughout the entire game, honestly. I don't know that there's a point where Swain outscales him. Maybe with Zanya's you can make some cute plays to try to get into it, but as long as Duckies is buying a little bit of magic resist, he'll be able to get away with pretty much whatever he wants. Blue Eyes in a lot of trouble though as Soul dashes forward with the Void Assault. Pooh trying just to buy time for Budinsko to get back up there. Duckies is still relatively healthy, has Feast available as well. You don't want to overcommit now. Hannibal in bot lane, not able to connect on the dissonance, but does on the Shockwave, and they'll pick up the kill on Soul. Now Josh Quest with a double tether out the Light Binding will pick up one. Keo and Josh Quest still here. The Mantra Q slows up Hannibal. Auto attacks coming through. Light Binding doesn't connect, but the minion damage plus the auto attack from Josh Quest pick up the double kill.
Josh is definitely having more of an impact on this Lux than the Annie pick, definitely.
Yeah, this is the same type of maneuver that we'd love to see him do on the Annie. Just roam down bottom and pick something up. It's looking a lot more normal on the Jinx. The Mega Death Rocket was set toward base, by the way. I think trying to pick up a kill on Pooh, but he wasn't actually going back. Noctron able to find him, locks him up with the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Budinsko's here as well. The Aftershock proc not enough to pick it up, and Rupture should be able to get him out to safety as Budinsko not able to get enough to use the Demonic Ascension. Oh, maybe now. No, okay. It's about a 3,000 gold lead right now for Random. They're feeling a little bit comfortable now. Probably a little bit more comfortable in top lane now that you can get out on the map a little bit more. And pretty much keeping up everywhere else. Hannibal has a decent CS lead in mid, though. So that Orianna should be scaling up, and you have to be scared of the AoE teamfight that that Spartans has pretty much no matter what state the game is in. With a combo like that, I mean, you've seen it turn from 10k, 12k disadvantages before. As long as you find the right team fight.
Those like Death Ball, just fall straight team fight comps are probably the easiest to execute.
Void Assault comes through from Soul as he's trying to find Blue Eyes White Dragon. Gets another passive proc. Now Hannibal is here, able to find the command Protect in order to save him. Final Spark not able to do that critical damage. Ducky's Minions is here though, slowing up Soul. Pooh is here as well as he's trying to make something happen. Noctron over the wall finds the bandage toss as Hannibal's able to secure a kill onto the Kaisa. Ducky's Minions chasing down onto Keo, but not able to find the critical damage there. Doesn't have Feast available as well. Was disruptive enough as they do pick up the kill and dissuade the tower dive. Dragon is spawning here in 10 seconds. I'd look to see what type it is, but instead, Hannibal's going to get caught a little bit by Pooh, forces the stopwatch out. Now Noctron in, doesn't have any ultimate available. The Orianna ult not able to connect on anything as well as Josh Quest comes in over the wall, lines of light binding. Noctron is taken down. Pooh is taken super low. Can Ducky's Minions find the kill? Doesn't look like he... Oh! The Super Mega Death Rocket will over the wall. Now Ducky's Minions able to turn back just a little bit. Keo flashes over the wall out to a little bit of safety. Exhaust onto Josh Quest as they're trying to follow. It's an air dragon, by the way.
Yeah, I said that leading up to the fight, like right as Orianna got caught, I said it was a speedy boy.
Oh, okay.
But
I'll be honest, I tuned you out immediately as Orianna got caught. That's my caster privilege. I can just choose to ignore you if I want to.
That's alright. Happens to me all the time.
Blue Eyes is caught over the wall by Budinsko. This is a much better lane matchup for the Swain as he's going to go ahead and feast on that. Josh Quest finds the light binding. They're going to find Orbital as he's chunked out. Now Hannibal in pursuit of the opposing mid laner. The Shockwave goes a little bit wide, but Hannibal will pick it up with the dissonance. Now Pooh and Soul find the big Cho'Gath. Can they actually chunk through him? Flag and Drag able to connect on the knockup. Budinsko's here as well. That'll be a dead Cho'Gath as Budinsko picks up his 5th kill of the game. He's starting to feel pretty good on that Swain. And with Ducky's actually not finishing up the magic resist, I'm going to say that now he can 1v1 the Cho'Gath. Pooh able... The chunk from Dark Harvest is actually a little bit dirty there.
And he still doesn't hit his 150 mark. It'd actually be a little early to hit 150. He's sitting, I think I saw it was like 111, 116.
Pooh and Keo might be caught though. The Curse of the Sad Mummy comes out. That'll be one clean kill picked up. Pooh and Budinsko are still here. Chunked down onto Hannibal as Budinsko comes through the shotgun hand, not able to pick it up. As the Flame Chomper is able to ward off the follow through. But now the Jarvan Jacuzzi does come through onto 2. I think that's a little bit of over an extension, but Sol is here as he picks up a kill out of the middle of everything. Budinsko's damage is pretty good. Now Cho'Gath is able to rejoin though. He has Feast available. Josh Quest and Budinsko getting into a corridor. Feast does come down to turn back 1. This fight is just extending way too long, but Sol and Josh Quest are still alive. The 2 carries for Random still alive as the double kill goes over to Sol. I think that's 3 or 4 kills in total for him through that fight, and 7 total on the game. The ace for Random as they look to have an inner track on mid.
Rageblade and Kaisa passive just tears through a Cho'Gath. It's just percent health is a wonderful thing, or a horrible thing, depending on who you are.
Super Mega Death Rocket gonna connect on Sol, just bothers him mildly. And the second turret looks like it's going to go in favor of Random. Oh, nope, not quite. They're forced to back off. How much health does it have? Oh, it wasn't as close as I thought it was. It's about 1,600 health still. But that's a 3 turret advantage now. All of the outer turrets down for Random as they have about a 6,000 gold lead in the game.
Brief bit of trash talk actually in the in-game chat. I know you can't see it, but brief bit. It might have been there for a while now. It's hidden behind the.
Ducky's minions going to wander into Pooh and Keo. The support jungler combo trying to take down the top laner. You can see they don't damage him particularly quickly. And actually now in a little bit of trouble as Hannibal's chasing down, but Budinsko's here as well. Has the Demonic Ascension available, just pops it now. Keo does fall during the fight. Noctron gets involved, tries to find one. The Bird Bomb not able to secure it. The double kill for Noctron and one going over to Ducky's minions as well. Means it's a 3 for 0. Sol is trapped now between 4 members. The Void Seeker picks up the kill onto Hannibal though. I don't know that he can pick up another one though. That's a lot of crowd control as it comes out. And Ducky's minions will pick up another one. That's 5 kills now onto the Cho'Gath. But the Void Seeker play, I respect that.
I think does so much damage even with just a single rank in it. It's. I don't want to say it's dumb. It's just as surprising.
Looks like
Even
Mystic is going to be
like
the Elemental Lux pick, by the way. I don't.
Yeah, that's the one that I accidentally pick and hate it every time.
Yeah. I believe that's my wife's favorite, but I just...
Like Mystic and then a Fairy or whatever, like the Fairy one, just like, no, please no.
Is that not the Fairy one?
That might be. It might be. I don't know what.
I thought that was the Fairy one, where she's like
normally
super
tell
ditzy.
best.
Anyway, Pooh and Keo are going to try to kill Cho'Gath again, but now they have the help of Budinsko and Josh Quest right away, and I don't think Cho'Gath can win a 1v4. Yeah, she yells like Dementia. That's the Fairy one. I don't think she actually yells Dementia, but it sounds like it when she does it. Inside track on mid, though, for Spartans as they committed a lot of resources to killing the Cho'Gath. Mid tower does fall. Blue Eyes flashes out, but now the team is here. They're going to land the knock-up onto the Jinx. She's really not doing a whole lot of damage there. Budinsko picks up the kill. They find the 1 in return for their mid tower. Yeah, this is a very different Jinx game to the last one. Now sitting at 1-7, a pretty difficult game so far. And Orianna's going to get found over the wall as Hannibal's going to go down. Pooh picks that one up, and Randomed is just rolling through mid lane now. Cho'Gath gets pulled in. Now Noctron is here. Finds a decent Curse of the Sad Mummy. But ultimately it just separates himself from his team. They have no damage available as 2 more kills going over to Random. The middle inhibitor under fire now. Budinsko not able to find the claw into Jinx as they continue to push in. Sol gets knocked up by the Rupture into the Zap. He just doesn't care at this point. Cho'Gath still under fire. The Mega Death Rocket will pick up one in return, though, from Blue Eyes White Dragon. Nexus turret is being attacked currently while all of this is happening.
Super small prize, but Cloud Drake did just spawn.
Yeah, I don't think they can continue there. That was basically the result of 2 consecutive picks. They were able to blow open the middle part of the map, basically. This might be an interesting fight for the dragon. I don't know, Curse of the Sad Mummy isn't available, but a lot of other tools available for Spartans. Doesn't look like either team's really going to rush there. Tentatively doing Dragon. They have the Cho'Gath execute. He'll go ahead and grab that stack. That's 12 stacks on the Cho'Gath.
The Amumu is building, I don't want to say full AP, but he's building all AP items after his jungle item. I did make it back into the call, right? I lagged out briefly. Okay.
Yep, you're here. We haven't... Did either team take Baron? I don't think so.
No.
No.
Not yet.
So, Baron, probably the objective that we'll need to see here. Again, even with this massive gold lead, it's not over by any means. The AoE team fight from Spartans will eventually show up, maybe. Ooh, Bandage Toss. Able to turn some damage back, but Soul will be able to solo out the Amumu after dodging the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Jinx is gonna get pulled in. Can't come back with this, though. That's a dead AD carry. That's a dead support as well off of the Jarvan Jacuzzi as Pooh picks that one up. Cho'Gath going to get locked up. A lot of damage being turned back as Budinsko forced to Zanya's. He's just trying to find that killing blow, but he will get taken down by Hannibal in the process. A lot of shutdown gold going over to the Orianna. Who gets found over the wall? Ducky's minions doesn't have the feast available. Soul, meanwhile, has just been split pushing this whole time. And trades her life with the tower. But the inhibitor tower does go down. Cho'Gath's going to go down in bot lane as well as Josh Quest picks up his 6th kill of the game. Super Mega Death Rocket gonna connect onto Lux. The rest of the game might have been rough, but his Death Rockets have been on point pretty much the entire series. That's another shot from downtown by Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah, actually, I don't think there was a ward there.
No,
was there?
They had
There
wards
was.
in the bush in front of it.
Yeah.
And the one behind it, so they knew she was still there, probably, but... Yeah, not quite the cross map into top lane, but I'll still chalk it up to being impressive. Baron's now going to get started by random. They have a 8,000 gold lead, if I can math correctly. Is the Baron starting to get a little bit low, down to 3,000. Rest of the team is here for Spartans. Are they going to go in for this steal? Looks like it's going to be secured as Soul is the one who actually is able to finish off the damage. Probably the passive proc actually outdamaged Smite, if I had to guess. Bandage Toss doesn't connect from Noctron, and now a lot of abilities being exchanged across the gap. Noctron finds the Curse of the Sad Mummy onto 3. Shockwave only connects onto Budinsko and Kyo, though. Some of those teamfight ultimates not there. Orbital gets soloed out at the back end. Now Soul diving deep in on top of the Jinx, just trying to finish the AD carry battle. He will win it, but it's still the Orianna and Cho'Gath alive. 2 versus 3 now as Hannibal and Duckies look to try to turn this. Kyo's really low, as is Pooh. They're forced away. The Light Binding lands onto the Cho'Gath. He's only going to get healthier as he comes through. So the team fight able to stall out enough from Spartans.
And right there, it wasn't the greatest example, but you can see kind of how this team fight comp will be able to get back in. That was not the greatest Curse of the Sad Mummy.
The Curse of the Sad Mummy was alright. It locked up, I believe,
It
3 or 4 members.
Oh,
it was the Shockwave that wasn't, yeah.
Yeah, so like the Shockwave wasn't necessarily the greatest, but even then with like just a little bit more time for the red side to scale, like there was 2 blinking health bars with really the only one that was healthy at all was Josh Quest, who I think was pretty much untouched that fight. But
Yeah.
a little bit more damage, whether it be on the Amumu, who's still going mostly full AP, or just like the Jinx gets a little bit more time to scale and get her items, or if the Orianna just gets a 3-man Shockwave, then that could be another dead person or 2.
Yeah, that could be a team wipe almost. Worth noting, Pooh just like soloed out Orbital. That was a disgusting amount of damage out of the Jarvan. So that'll be something to watch. If Pooh can get onto a key target there, if he can jump on the Orianna before the Zanyas or onto the Jinx, that's a pretty devastating amount of damage from the Dark Harvest and the items that he's got built right now.
Since we like keeping track of numbers, he's sitting at 218 Dark Harvest stacks.
Udinsko going to find Ducky's minions there. They don't have a huge amount of damage right now against the Warmog's Adaptive Helm Cho'Gath. But the push continues here in top lane. There's a dragon coming up in 5 seconds, so they can swap over there eventually. But right now look like they want the push. They're going to pull in the Cho'Gath, who lands the flag over the wall, trying to find a spot to engage from. I don't know that they want to dive against this comp necessarily, but if they can engage on their own terms, they're going to be in a better situation than if the Amumu can find a good engagement. And right now it looks like Random are just going to back out. The Earth Dragon is the one that spawned. That's a relatively decent prize at 32 minutes waiting for you, if you're randomed. We'll have to see if there's a Super Mega Death Rocket steal. I think it'd be the only way that they can get to it.
So, I actually just spent some time doing some math here. Basically, that Dark Harvest bop from Jarvan, besides his passive bop, that's adding in an additional 218. So that's adding in an additional 321 damage right now. That's of course with him being level 15. I numbers bug me.
Yeah, that's still a decent chunk of damage for. I don't want to say basically nothing, but he's just got to get the auto attack while he has a soul, and he can pick up more souls if he gets more kills. ARAM players can relate.
Yeah.
Not one you see too often on Summoner's Rift, but if you play ARAMs, you're pretty familiar with Dark Harvest at this point. Random force their way toward the bottom inhibitor. There's the engage from Noctron, lands onto 3 into the Shockwave. There's the team fight that we were talking about. Pooh jumps in, he's just trying to get the Jinx. He's not going to be able to clean it up. That's 4 for 0 in favor of Spartans out of nowhere. There is the Wombo combo we were talking about. You gotta have the happy feet. Soul might be able to pick up one on Amumu though. A little bit unfortunate there, but that's 4 for 0, and then the extended one one that you lose off of that for Soul.
Looks like Soul's actually going to try and pick up an inhib here sneakily.
Yeah, going for the backdoor. Doesn't have the minions with him, so that's going to take him quite a while. Well, never mind. It didn't have much health. Ducky's minions just doesn't care about this tower now. As Blue Eyes White Dragon there to do the damage. Keo and Josh Quest respawning now, as the rest of their team is actually chasing down Soul. They have movement speed abilities. The Whimsy actually got used onto Lulu. There we go. That's the right target. Ooh, the invisibility paying a little bit of dividends. Soul goes in, not quite able to find the kill onto Hannibal. And now the staggered respawn timers might come to bite them. There's still a minute left on this Baron, but if you can find a pick in the next minute, you set yourself up decently for the Baron if you're the Spartans. Of course, if you're random, you just don't want to give them that opportunity.
Yep, still 6,000 or just under 6,000 gold lead. For the side of random.
Sitting on that 66.6k. Does tick over as I mention it, but... But yeah, it's a 10 kill lead. It's still a gold lead, but we saw the power of the Wombo combo, of the Curse of the Sad Mummy during that last fight. If they can pull that off another one or two times, they'll be back in the lead. And this is just gonna continue extending here. Now Pooh finds Ducky's minions, just getting the auto damage down onto him. Voidseeker finds Cho'Gath as well. Interestingly, not doing the... I guess maybe it's not super interesting, but it's the traditional AD build rather than the AP Kai'Sa build that we've seen come into popularity. Do you have any thoughts on that AP Kai'Sa build compared to the AD one?
I haven't actually played with the Zhonya's build that's kind of coming in. Maybe not this game with it being like you have an AP top, an AP mid, and an AP support.
Yeah, I definitely think it's preferable to go this route.
Plus new Essence Reaver when you pop an ult, you have fun high moments on a lot of champions. Just like make excuses to build Essence Reaver at this point.
This is a really good rotation, by the way, by Random. They were able to force their way through the jungle and pick up a tower with relative ease. Ducky's minion's going to get aggressed on the... Orianna isn't with them right now, so this is just wave clear duty right now for the Spartans. He's got the Warmog, so it's not terminal unless they can find him before he starts regenning. They will knock off a little bit of the regen, but... Yeah, you gotta completely commit to kill that Cho'Gath. There's no halfways about it right now. Baron is live. That feels like where the next confrontation's going to happen. They're walking in. Josh Quest finds the double light binding. Lulu's in a little bit of trouble, but the Resolve Tree able to keep him healthy. Noctron goes in. He's trying to find a good Curse of the Sad Mummy, but only one target presented itself. Who comes in over the wall on the other side, able to lock up a couple of members with the Jarvan Jacuzzi. But meanwhile, the teamfight just a little bit better so far for the Spartans. They're able to find two. Shockwave not able to connect, though. Soul's in a little bit of trouble on the other side. Ooh, the Super Mega Death Rocket. If that shield had gone all the way down, that might have killed Soul. But the combined Karma Lux shields were able to keep him alive. And it's a 2 for 0 is Pooh and Budinsko just got a little bit separated. Pooh really seems like he wants to pull the trigger, but it's just not quite the right timing with the rest of his team. It's been a little bit desynced.
I think Budinsko might have been... I don't know if... I can't say that was the first time he noticed the AP Amumu, but it was definitely one of the first times he's felt the AP Amumu, as he was sitting there in his bird bomb and just kind of got exploded once Noctron saw an opportunity to press R and hit more than one target.
Yep, and that was a successful team fight without the Orianna ult being useful basically at all. That was all on the back of the Amumu and the way that they were able to kite back through their own jungle.
Absolutely. I mean, Shockwave straight up with everything. So that's Elder now.
Yeah, Elder on the side of Spartans. They've got the Infernal Cloud combo to buff up, so getting a little bit extra AD and AP as we return to the scene of the crime. The Baron being pinged out by both teams again, but with that Elder in the pocket, I don't think you want to fight Spartans here. I keep hearing the void noises from Kaisa, and it's kind of freaking me out. Just the off of the recall. That's a pretty accurate representation of the sound, by the way. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, let's check in. That's only 12 stacks now on Cho'Gath. He's only gotten one since we checked in. Meanwhile, Pooh is sitting on 268 Dark Harvest stacks. Such a tense situation for both teams now, as it looks like the Eye of Sauron's going to spot out the bush. I guess they were on top of the ward. Light Binding connects onto 2. One of those is Jinx, who gets chunked out. Doesn't seem like Josh Quest has that 100 to 0 Lux damage. It's more of a minor annoyance at this point. I guess the E isn't there as well.
E was not there, and that was through a Bloodthirster shield and a Lulu ult.
Noctron looking for an engage, able just to find some minions and get those cleared out. The vision right now is the big issue. They need to sweep out the vision near the Baron pit. Do Spartans. There's like 4 wards. They're all about to time out, I guess, but if they
honestly,
knew those were there, they would play this a lot differently, I imagine.
I almost want to say wait for Noctron to get another 600 gold and let him buy and see what happens.
They'll have that death cap. They spotted a recall, I believe, or they're at least guessing that it happened because there's no one on the mid wave. This is a dangerous situation, but they're able just to sneak away the Baron. That's a 4-man Baron that goes over to Spartans. So they weren't able to find the team fight while they had the Elder buff up, but basically able to parlay that into the Baron buff now, and we'll see what they can push with it.
Cho'Gath did not use Feast on that Baron either. It just straight up got melted.
Yeah, the Jinx was the one that dealt the killing blow, so it wasn't a smite or a feast. Middle inhibitor going down now in favor of Spartans. I don't think that Random really want the engagement here, so it is just going to be the clean inhib take. And we'll see where they rotate now, if they're going to go defend their own inhibitor, if they're going to try to push for that top lane. They haven't taken a single tower in bottom lane. They've opened up the inhib in mid, and the outer tower is still standing there. So there's a little bit of gold they could mop up on the map. And, I mean, right now it's a 200 gold game. It's all the difference between the teams here at 42 minutes.
Fedora has been complete for the Amumu now.
That's a lot of AP on that Amumu. That's going to be an unusually bursty Amumu. But we're starting to get to that point where full builds are starting to be completed. Looks like, was that a sale on an item in the purchase of the Nashers? Or am I skipping something on the Kaisa?
That was a sale. Kaisa had an Essence Reaver and had an Infinity Edge at one point.
And now opting to go for that AP, has the Death Cap and the Nashor's Tooth. Interesting item choice. There's a Spellbinder on Karma, by the way. And the Banner of Command just got finished up for Lulu. Just to kind of catch up on some items here. But we're starting to get into full item build points. Jinx's full item build, and Orianna, I believe that's it. And Swain. Ultimate coming through, just going to kind of be a shot across the bow of Hannibal. They're going to pull in Ducky's minions, but it's Cho'Gath. And the push continues. They have the Bannered Cannon minion, which is way too difficult to say.
That's why I thought a lot of like the LCS guys started saying like the Banyan.
The Banyan?
Like,
Yeah. It's still knocking away though. This turret's getting pretty low, and this will be a 2,000 gold lead now for the Spartans as they push in on the bottom lane tower. Light Binding lands onto Cho'Gath. I mean, the cooldown's basically nothing. Like, I guess you throw it out just for that. They pull him in again. They can't seem to find any target other than the Cho'Gath at the front, which means that the Spartans are absolutely playing correctly. They take down the inhib tower. Now the bottom inhib under fire. This is taking a long time, though. The Baron buff is almost up. but they get 2 inhibs off of it. And immediately the team-wide recalls. We're headed late game again, boys. That was, what was it, 52-50 in game 1?
Yeah, like 52-50, 52-53, maybe?
Something like that, yeah. Game 2 was much quicker. It was only around 35 minutes, if I remember correctly. But we're headed back to 50 again. We're well on the way. Yeah, looks like Kaisa's headed toward that Zanya's as the last item. Don't see anything yet from really anybody else. Amumu picked up another blasting wand while we were back. Cho'Gath finished off a build, has the Dead Man's Plate as his last item. And yeah, actually the Lulu doesn't have any room for pink wards anymore. Picked up a second Aegis as well.
What would that Aegis be going towards?
Zerat
Is that going to
or a Ziggs?
Yeah, because she's already got the locket. She's already got a banner, which also the locket on Lulu. I thought that was. I mean, it's not the worst item in the world, but it scales with bonus health, and if you're not building health, then you're only having it scale with level. So.
It's more just wanting to have it, probably, against the Lux and Swain combo. Duckies gets caught a little bit in the front, as you can tell from his health bar. That's pretty sarcastic. Duckies is going to go ahead and tank up the tower. It's not really going to do damage to him. It's just kind of worth noting. Kaisa and Lux have had to go back and stall for minions. The third inhib tower is going down. Noctron goes in, lands the Curse of the Sad Mummy onto 3. This isn't really the important members, though, of Random. Jarvan Jacuzzi lands back onto 2 as Amumu gets taken down. Soul is free in the back of the fight just to fight Josh Quest and Soul are both still alive. The Void Assault's still available as well. Soul gets pulled in by the... Oh my goodness, that was a lot of things that just happened. The Mega Death Rocket got flashed in front of by Josh Quest. Total bro move from the Lux, able to save his AD carry as Soul was able to run away. Yeah, it's a 1-for-1, all things considered, but that's a third inhib going down. And the second Elder Dragon has spawned. And that looks like it's going to take the attention of Spartans right now. This is known. The Lux laser over the wall, not quite enough to steal it, as Jinx secures her second objective with the Cho'Gath and Amumu. Oh, Amumu wasn't there, but oh, Cho'Gath didn't have Feast. Okay, okay, that one's fair. We'll give him that one. So Lux secures it again. Lux, the big objective taker, or Lux, Jinx, something ending in X. Who names their kid ending in X? Like. Millennials and their names. I just realized the Random logo is actually blocking the respawn timer for Baron. I should probably fix that at some point. I've notated it for next time. It's 10 seconds left on the Baron spawn. Sorry, that's been an important bit of information that just hasn't been on the stream. Woo! That's good. Anyway, Baron under fire now as Spartans turn onto it. Cho'Gath is just kind of standing guard. Orianna is able to secure it with the Amumu and Cho'Gath available to, clear the objectives.
But Cho'Gath wasn't at least in the pit. He was.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the Cho'Gath's fault this time.
He was being a good watchdog.
Anyway, the banner going down onto the melee minions. This looks like a death push for Spartans. We'll have to see if they can finish off the game now. Just trying to look at so many minions. Nexus Tower number 1 getting super low. It is taken down. Nexus Turret number 2 under fire. Who goes deep? Lands the Cataclysm onto 3. Forced back away. He gets feasted on by Duckies. Now Cho'Gath in the back line. The Curse of the Sad Mummy locks up 2. Kyo's going to go down in the back of the fight. Josh Quest is still alive. The flash forward from Spartans means that they're not going to take it down, though. The double kill going over to Blue Eyes White Dragon, and the Nexus goes in favor of Spartans as they're able to secure it at 49 minutes. Another marathon game, but ultimately they play it out slow, they play it out clean, and the AoE team fight just proving a little bit too difficult for Random to handle.
Not much to say. That last fight, actually, the Amumu soloed Soul in that fight. Almost one shot him with like the ult E, and then was able to, I believe, get another bandage toss or another E off a couple seconds later.
Yeah, the turning point of the game, by the way, the fight in a bottom lane at the Spartans inhibitor, where they hit the three-man wombo of the Curse of the Sad Mummy into the Shockwave, that basically turned the game on its head from that point on. Um, yeah, that's a lot to digest off of that game. Do you have a game MVP? That's going to be a little bit easier to determine, I think.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of mishaps there. Highest KP would have to go towards the Oriana. A couple big shockwaves played into getting them back into the fight. Of course, their team comp was set up around doing that, whether they were ahead or behind, being able to have the wombo, but still did execute for the most part. Uh, the Cho'Gath had a very favorable lane, got some solo kills, had a better impact. But I probably would still give it to Hannibal, and probably would give him series MVP as well.
I can't really argue with that. I thought Noctron played a really good game,
Yep.
especially from behind as a Mumu, was able to find those engages pretty much every time they needed them. But I have no argument with Hannibal. So Hannibal gonna get MVP of game number 3 and the series MVP, and that's our first official decrees of Platinum League. Um, that was a pretty exciting series. That the 2 hours and 35 minutes of casting that we got to do for that series.